Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen public hearing. It is July 1st, 2025. It is 5:46 p.m. Call this public hearing to order. Order of business is ordinance 2025-15, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 32 parcels 3.04 and 3.05 and tax map 29 parcels 41.01 and 41.02. Property consists of approximately 76.55 acres. Property is located on or near Waldron Road and Blair Road. Current zoning is R3, low density residential zoning district. Proposed zoning is the PDR, planned density residential zoning district, with a base zone of R3, high density residential. At this point, the podium is open. Anyone can come and speak. We ask that you state your name and address for the record, and you can speak to the board, but we are not able to respond back. So the podium is open if anyone would like to come speak.
We don't know much about what's going on because we were
Name and
attended-
address.
Oh, I'm sorry. Annette Vieira, and I'm at 117 Rocky Trail at the Ridge. So we got on the tail end of the meeting last month. So we would like to know more about what's proposed. We know it's residential, retail, not knowing retail that is designated for that area. I guess our largest concern at our household, which seems to be a lot of the neighbors, is the traffic flow through our neighborhood down Dobson Knob, where there's some hills, and then opening the street of Sweet Maple Knoll into this retail space, which then would create even more traffic. With Cara Hobbs has children that lives on Dobson Knob. We just feel if we could have one entrance would be very lovely to our neighborhood, not to have the cut through, or even a lot of times you have a cut through that initiates some criminal activity, because then they can speed through there. We do have an HOA with the covenants, and of course the city ordinance of no parking kind of helps. Although being part of neighborhoods before, when residents are allowed to park on the street, when you're having a high traffic flow, police have always recommended to me that a different perspective, that cars parked on the street then kind of slow down traffic because they have to slow down. But anyways, city ordinance, no parking on the street, I'm not debating that. That's very lovely for our neighborhood. We as neighbors are just concerned of the traffic going through the neighborhood with this residential. And I would like to learn more about what's proposed to beautify our area, because that South Waldron Road seems to be developing nicely, and we're pleased about that for property values. So we're just trying to protect our property values, but would love a walk and dine shop. I'd like to have a grocery store at my back door. So I would like to learn more about this twinning station. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Again, the podium is open if anyone would like to come and speak. If you would, please state your name and address.
Craig Purcell, 501 Smoky Ridge. Mr. Mayor, board members, say that you have an ordinance to change from R1 to R3. I don't know what all the discussion is, but that's usually apartments, townhomes. I don't hear anything about commercial property in this, so I don't know what everybody's talking about. I don't even know exactly where you're talking about on Walden Road and Blair Road. Just do it nice. We have property. You gotta have places for people to live. I'm asking you to do it. I don't know if I agree with it, because I don't know. You're not putting any maps out here, you're not showing what's the plan, you know, who's the builder. You could put up some garbage that's gonna deteriorate in 10 years. And that's gonna affect my property value, it's gonna affect that area. If you look at 24 coming up that way, you see a complex that you don't really wanna drive by. It's a bunch of outlet malls with vape shops. So if you're going from low density, that is single family homes, to high density, it has to be nice. There's places in Nashville that are nice. There are places that are not. I ask you to make it nice.
Thank you, sir. Again, the podium is open if anyone would like to speak. Now is the time.
Walt Vieira, 117 Rocky Trail, Mayor, Alderman. I would love to see roundabouts in Blair, Walden area, and or even when we're tying into the ridge with the Blair subdivision on the other side. Primarily because as you're coming south on Waldron, that's a blind hill right where you hit Blair. And I actually witnessed somebody die on a motorcycle because somebody was turning onto Blair, and this person didn't see it before they got to the top of that ridge, didn't stop in time, ran in right to the back of somebody. And it's just that topography there. Maybe they'll change the topography, I don't know, but because of that hill there, it would just make it a lot easier for that to be a roundabout and or a roundabout in our neighborhood. It just seems like the flow of traffic would be much better because there's so much congestion going on there, especially if we're going to talk about widening it to 5 lanes all the way down there. So just my 2 cents, we'd love to see more roundabouts.
Thank you. Podium is open if anyone would like to speak. Now is the time. Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm Turnbull Pursley with the Equitable Property Company in Nashville, Tennessee, 3201 Trevor Street. Just to all the people that spoke up tonight and the mayor, board of aldermen, I feel like we've had all the concerns that have been expressed recently. We've addressed all those and contemplated the traffic through Knob. The name escapes me, but making that connection. We've contemplated all that stuff, and we're excited to build a first-class development here in North Rutherford County in Laverne. So I just wanted to state that on record that we will be delivering a high-quality product. So that's it.
Thank you. Again, the podium is open, and if anyone would like to speak, now is the time.
Mayor, if it's all right, I'd like to speak.
Sure. If you could, come up to the podium. That way the camera can get you. Name and address, please.
My name is Kara Hobbs, and I live at 115 Dobson Knob Trail. And these are my fellow neighbors here. Mayor and Board of Mayor and Aldermen. It was brought to the board's attention after our last meeting that the letter regarding the public forum for the Twinning Station project was sent to our residents with an error in the time of the public forum as 6:45 p.m. instead of the correct timing of 5:45. Several residents had came to the meeting prepared to make statements prior to our first vote, but were unable to do so due to the notable error made on account of the city. Tennessee state law mandates a public hearing and newspaper notice before enacting or amending a zoning ordinance. This ensures transparency and allows public input on proposed zoning changes, which can significantly impact property owners and the community. The public hearing process is a crucial part of zoning regulations, providing a structure for citizens to voice their opinions and concerns how the land is used in their area. Typically, the public hearing takes place prior to the first vote to allow changes and collaboration between the developer and the community before moving forward. Though the project passed unanimously in the first vote, and my vote was particularly influenced by the fact that there was no one there to express any concern at the public forum that day. Tonight, this project is headed to the final vote, which as a PDR will not permit any revisions or changes moving forward from this evening without the developer returning to the zoning process all over again. In fairness to our residents, I recommend the board consider the following this evening: a motion to defer or a motion to suspend the rules to allow the developer to address concerns listed by our residents in tonight's public hearing and see about their willingness to entertain any changes proposed by the community. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. With that, the podium is open. If anyone would like to speak, now is the time.
You could make the motion to suspend.
Again, go ahead and one more time, if anyone would like to speak on this, now is the time. With that, we're going to close out the public hearing, and we will begin in about 3 minutes on the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting.